Let me tell you what is some absolute BS. So I'm Tiffany, I'm a PA, but I'm also a GLP-1 advocate, and I help people all the time try to get access to GLP-1s. But there's so many times where I will prescribe a medicine to somebody in the office and I get back something from their insurance company and it says it's covered, but that does not always mean that it's affordable. So let's talk about what that means. So if you're having trouble affording your medications, stay to the end because I have some options for you. There's also some links over here in my bio if those will help. So as a healthcare provider, this is one of the most frustrating conversations that I can have with somebody. So when something is indicated, that means that yes, it is actually approved for the condition that you have. Now in the United States, approval is generally done by the FDA. Now covered is a whole separate thing. That means that your insurance, if the drug is covered, it's on their formulary. So sometimes when I prescribe something in my EMR, I'll get back a little message that says covered, not covered. But here is what is missing. What is missing is affordable, okay? Because covered does not mean affordable, because after you factor in your copay and your deductible and on top of the premiums that you're already paying, these drugs can be sometimes thousands of dollars. And certainly even if you can afford that for 1 month, I mean, that's not sustainable over the course of a year. So let's take the example of GLP-1s. For the most part, if I'm taking care of someone who is diabetic, I prescribe them a GLP-1. Not always, but for the most part, I can usually get them covered for a GLP-1 at a reasonable copay. But I would say that if I'm prescribing GLP-1s for weight loss, not diabetes, it's the same drugs, different indication, it's still approved indication. I would say only 10% of the population right now has coverage that they can actually afford. So the insurance company gets to say, oh yeah, we cover these drugs, but no, they don't, because they completely price you out. You're not able to afford $800 to $1,200 a month for these drugs. So something being covered and something being affordable are two completely different things. And this is the gap that I see so many patients falling into, and then they don't know what to do. So that is why I have had to investigate other methods for people getting these very important medications. So people who fall into this gap, I have gotten them into a program in which they get the medications, they circumvent insurance, and they just cash pay the medication. Now, it's not ideal. Obviously, in a better situation, we get insurance to pay for it, but they're not paying for it right now, and it's not affordable. And I can't wait for insurance to wise up because people need these medicines. So if you're falling into that gap, let me know. Send me a message, drop in the comments. There is some links in my bio that talks about this program. Semaglutide is definitely going to be your most budget-friendly option if you don't have good coverage right now. Tirzepatide is also available, but it is a little bit more expensive. But if you're needing the meds, there are ways to get them, even if you're not necessarily covered or affordable through insurance.